Thanks for staying with us. Let's now tell you that 3 years after the violent suppression of nationwide Endsars protests against police brutality in Nigeria, reports say at least 15 protesters arrested in 2020 are still being arbitrarily detained. A peaceful walk is usually held annually to remember the day and honor victims of the shootings at the Lekki Tollgate. The turnout of Nigerian youths for this year's commemoration, however, raised questions. Neomoni provides further details.
Unlike the first and second year anniversaries of the 2020 Endsars protest, which saw large turnout of Nigerian youth honoring the memory of victims of the Lekki Tollgate shooting, the third anniversary saw significant less attendance at the Lekki Plaza commemoration event. The Lagos State Police had indicated no gatherings would be allowed. However, a few determined Nigerians still visited the plaza, including a human rights activist who came with a daughter and had questions about the events of October 20, 2020.
3 years ago, it was all here. The spirits of our motherland brought every one of us together. But today, they are quiet like nothing happened. They are silent like it's a norm for people to die. But let me tell you something. Sooner or later, one day, the law of karma will pay everybody who failed to make this country great.
I got the information on Twitter that we can converge at the Lekki Tollgate, so that's why I'm here. And on getting here, I've not seen anybody. I'm trying to look for other protesters, and you can see what just happened now. They said I can't move this direction because they know that that's the convergence point. Probably I might have been able to see some other protesters. That's why they said I should be isolated.
Despite the heavy police presence, a handful of youth, such as popular skip maker, who advocated strongly during the Endsars protest, peacefully walked around the plaza. While this action indicates that the spirit of the movement still lingers, the reduced number of youth begs the question whether Nigerians are finally moving on from the Endsars movement.
A lot of people are discouraged. In the first year, you shouted, "Give us this, we want this," and then they promised that they would do it. Second year, you went back again and you noticed that that thing they promised a year ago has not been done. They said they will do this. They said they will help those who are brutalized. They said they will free people from the prison. Some people are still in the cell. They said they will do this. They said they will do that. And then you took that into the new year and realized they have not done that. You will be discouraged. And I think the whole this underlying issue is just issue of trust.
The Lagos Commissioner of Police, Idowu Ounwa, who was on site to assess the situation, explained the rationale for the strong police deployment.
In planning an operation of this nature, we anticipate. So we do not essentially put all our operational eggs in one basket. So we are securing the entire Lagos public space.
How about that you are the one stopping them and engaging them?
It's 3 years on from the sad event of October 20, 2020, and many questions from that day remained unanswered. While some youth still report issues about the high-handedness of security forces as exemplified by the seizure of a new central drone during coverage, others maintain hope that policing in Nigeria will continue improving. The challenges ahead are substantial, but progress some believe requires ongoing peaceful advocacy. Neomoni, reporting for News Central Lagos.
And joining me to further discuss this, I have Kingsley Okeke, Group Managing Editor, African Leadership Organization in the United Kingdom. Thank you so much, Kingsley, for talking to us.
Thank you very much, Lekan, for having me.
Now, it's been 3 years after the protest that came like a storm in the country, and the aftermath opened the window into various forms of injustice in the country. Now, how do you think the country has fared after this series of incidents that did transpire, and what the government's body language has been, response also coming from the government, and how the youths are taking all this in?
Well, thank you very much, Lekan. I think it's quite important that channels like yours keep the conversation going, even when it seems as if the spirit of young people is diminishing or probably maybe crushed under the burden of many years of protesting and nothing has come out of it. But I think it's important to also look at it. You described it as a storm, but I'd like to look at it, contextually. If you look at police brutality, it's been a recurring decimal in the country, but it came to a head in 2017 when the hashtag Endsars became a trend. That was when it eventually gained consciousness, especially because of the growth of social media and engagement of young people on social media. So it started from then, but again, it became when you see a group of people that have been under the burden of maybe what I like to call a bully for over a period of time, it comes to a time when they revolt. And well, that's what you saw in 2020 when you saw the young people troop out to the streets to register that legitimate pain against police brutality. But again, it also, it speaks to how Nigeria has fared over a period of time where you have a legitimate institution that was actually, put in place for the growth and development of a country begins to become the problem. If you look at it, the SARS, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, if you look at the formation of that agency in 1992, you understand that it was a legitimate response by the police to check the incidents or rising incidences of armed robbery, kidnapping, and all forms of crimes of that nature. But like typical of how some of the agencies of government over a period of time become the laws unto themselves, they began to deviate from what they were supposed to do. And in fact, the victims became much more young people. But if you look at it from 2020 to date, you realize that, of course, nothing much has changed. And simply because, there's been no closure to the issue of Endsars.
Yes, now, Kingsley,
is because there's...
Yeah, Kingsley, sorry to cut in now, because you have said that there is no closure and you have said that nothing has changed. And that is where I want to come in. Part of the things that the Nigerian youths, while protesting, advocated for was for welfareism, better welfare package for the Nigerian police. And they also had this 5-for-5 demand, which had to do with recompense for victims of the police brutality, ensuring that these cases were visited and justice was served, among other demands that they made. So from your observation and what you've just said now, does that mean that nothing has been done in terms, most especially for the welfare of the Nigerian police?
I think it's so interesting to see that amidst the cries for police brutality, the young people were also pushing, for improved welfare for the police, which is something that ordinarily the police should actually be very supportive of. But like I can tell you, there seems to be out of the 5 demands that you just mentioned, of course, the only thing we saw that happened during the period, of course, just to placate the young people, was to set up a committee, that investigated the issues of police brutality. We saw that in Lagos. We saw that across many other states. And of course, the outcomes of those investigative panels, not much have been, done to actually, compensate victims of police brutality. Also, those cases, some of the cases have actually not even been dealt with. We know a classical case of the Okuzo SARS and a particular young man that was consistently, we saw cries of people asking that he should be produced to answer for his crimes. To date, we have not heard any case, or nothing has been done about the incidences of what happened in Okuzo SARS. We also have seen a case where just yesterday, I think Amnesty International and a couple of other bodies also released a report saying that upward of about 15 people are still in detention, showing you that nothing has really changed. The police welfare is still the same. Every day we still hear cases of of people being detained or harassed of their way to work or going about their legitimate duties.
Now,
So that's
Kingsley.
why I said no lessons obviously have been learned from that.
Okay, so moving on from there now, we're moving forward. Now, there have been allegations of government's response to this public agitation, and it has been painted as though it's been some sort of blackmail, intimidation, deceit, and negligence on the part of government, and insincerity too on the part of government. But then, leaving aside these allegations, now, for the youth, what do you think they can do moving forward to see that justice is served, regardless of the number of years that it will take and the pressure that it will take for them to achieve that? And for government to, what do you think they can do to placate the situation and be more humane in their approach and dealings with youths in the country?
Well, I'll start from the last part where you talked about government. If you look at it, I mean, what the people are asking is just sincerity and genuine concern from the leaders. I mean, a simple case of acknowledging that there was indeed an injustice during at the Lekki Tollgate, and that I mean that will first of all help to put some kind of closure, and secondly, what the people are asking for are basic things that could have, I mean, that government can provide, that those who are saddled with the responsibility of protecting them should actually do the task of protecting them and not become a terror to their lives. That's on the part of the youth. I must say that it is to sustain this agitation. It is too early to begin to to buckle under the pressure of I mean, looking at government from the prism of not doing what you've actually asked them to do. This, I mean, it's going to be a long road to freedom. It's not just going to happen overnight. We need young people and conversations like this to continue so that people to come after, I mean, after us will understand that something happened in 2020 and that this is what happened. And these are the lessons that should be drawn and learned from it. The engagement must be sustained. I mean, if we are to see, inclusive and sustainable change in the near future.
And we hope to see that too. Kingsley Okeke, thank you so much for your contribution.
Thank you very much, Lekan, for having me.